My father passed away with cancer in 1991. I was 18, and growing up in the church, people always said, you know, if he could choose, he'd rather be in heaven than be here on earth. And as a Christian, I believe that, but as an 18-year-old, it was pretty hard to swallow. And so a lot of the questions out of the chorus kind of came from me just saying, God, what's so great about you that my dad would rather be there than here? And for years, I would write the phrase, I can only imagine, down on anything I'd get my hands on. If I was on the phone doodling whatever, I'd write that phrase. And it wasn't until 1999 we were working on an independent record, and we needed one more song. And I was like, well, you know, I'll try to come up with something. So I started opening the journal I was writing in, and every page had this phrase on it, literally every page. And it was like, and so I was like, well, maybe I need to finish this. And so I started writing it down and put it to music, and we recorded on an independent record. And you know, it was supposed to be a fast song, and it was like, you know, the lyrics are a little, I don't know, I'm a sap for, you know, slower songs. And I was like, no, lyrics too important. I don't want to put it to a fast song. And so we left it alone, tried to walk away. And when I was walking out, Jim played that piano lick, and I was like, play it again. And all of a sudden, we rolled everything back in the studio and did it real quick. We were actually in an old Sunday school building. It wasn't even a studio. And we recorded it, and it was kind of a B-side thing. You know, it didn't really go with the rest of the record. And we didn't play it for months. For months, we never played it. We promoted the rest of the record, and somebody finally said, hey, why don't you play this song, you know, during the show tonight? So we tried it once, and everybody kind of flipped out over it. And we knew we had something special, but never thought it was going to do what it's done. And so we've played it every night since, you know, a million times it feels like. And, you know, it ran its course in the Christian market, and then it, you know, it did whatever it was supposed to do. And then we moved on to a second record, and then you were promoting that, and all of a sudden, you know, a top 40 station in Dallas, a shock jock kind of format, they said they'll do anything on the air, and somebody called in and said, play Imagine. And they're like, oh, all right, we'll do it, we'll give it a shot. And they played it once, got a ton of phone calls, played it again, and after like the second or third time, it became #1 on their station for like 3 months. And you know, and then all of a sudden, all these other stations started following suit. They heard about it and was like, what in the world? And they got the same response. And then eventually the label was like, we need to do something about this. So they released it, and it took off. And, you know, it showed up on, you know, on the top 40 and the AC and the hot AC, and it just showed up on the country charts. It's like the song that won't go away. So I don't know, you know, what's going to end up with the song, but it's pretty overwhelming right now. I just had a real special relationship with my dad. I mean, parents divorced when I was 3, and I lived with Dad from like 3rd grade on, and so we were really close when he passed away. And you know, I remember he wrote me a letter not too long afterwards, and he said, you know, probably 3 months after I'm gone, no one's going to remember me. You know, he lived on like $26,000 a year, raised my brother and I, and you know, just and it's so funny because now, without people knowing my name, he's probably one of the most famous dads that I know, because everyone knows about my dad connected with this song somehow. And so it's pretty cool. My wife and I talk about it often, just like, you know, if my dad is aware of what's going on, then he's just getting a huge laugh out of this, because it's just amazing how everybody knows the song, and somehow they know the story behind the song. And that's extremely rewarding, because, you know, I mean, for everything my dad did for me and everything he went through, you know, and to kind of give me the green light to do what I'm doing, you know, it's just really cool to know that, you know, that he's not forgotten, and none of this was done in vain. And it's funny, one of the things my dad told me, I guess it was right before he passed away, he set me down and kind of worked out everything financially and all the stuff that was going to happen when he passed away. Hardest thing I've ever done. And he was like, now, when I'm gone, I've set it up to where all my retirement and all this other stuff you're going to be given so much a month, because if I give you a lump sum, you're going to have a boat or something and have nothing to show for it. So he told my brother and I that we're getting so much a month for like 10 years. And he goes, that'll be enough to get you through whatever you're doing and whatever you want to do in life, hopefully, you know. And he goes, but don't worry, when 10 years is up, I'll still be there to take care of you somehow. And that was always his thing. And so, you know, for the next 10 years or whatever, you know, well, basically most of that from '94 on was doing the band thing. Well, in 2001, January 2001 is when it ended. It would be January 1 of 2001 is when it ended. And what's so funny is I was doing an interview with a Christian DJ, and my son was born on the 4th of January, and it was about the same time that Imagine was kind of peaking in the Christian market. And I was big into the charts, but when Sam was born, I totally forgot all about it. You know, I mean, I was all about Sam. And I was doing an interview with this guy, and he told me, he goes, you know, Imagine went #1 today. And I was like, you know, I had no idea. I just kind of been out of it. And I was like, well, that's really cool. And then all of a sudden I stopped and I started bawling. He was like, is everything okay? What's wrong? What's wrong? And it was to the day that the last check came that Imagine went to #1. And I was sitting there, I just started laughing. I was saying, my dad told me 10 years ago that he would keep taking care of me somehow. And, you know, in so many ways, financially and everything else, I mean, there's no question that our careers have been taken care of without going Imagine. And so it was a pretty cool little, you know, I don't say coincidence, but just cool that it all happened on the same day. And anyway, so there's a lot of little stories like that. But you know, it is the fact that Dad's involved with the song in some way makes it that much more rewarding.